Hello and welcome to our fourth episode of Stratford Unravelled. I'm Elliot Causa and I'm pleased to give you a more classical themed show. We're going to travel hundreds of years into the past and visit our Tudor friends at Nash's house for their Christmas celebrations. Then a quick hop forwards 300 years to a Victorian evening in Warwick for their Victorian themed Christmas market. But first, as we are approaching Christmas, a time of giving and receiving gifts, we thought we'd ask around the studio about some of the worst presents they've ever received.
The worst Christmas present I ever had was a hamster, because the fact I'm not actually allowed to have pets in my house because my mum's allergic to them.
Christmas present? It's either a puzzle or some socks, maybe. I don't know. I never really had a bad Christmas present, to be honest. I'm pretty spoiled. I think it's got to be the puzzle. Maybe.
These little wind-up members of the royal family are just awful. And I only got those last year, and that's the thing. Little stupid toys.
Well, every year my grandma manages to give me clothes, and I haven't even worn what she's given me last year, which is kind of upsetting.
I'd probably say my worst Christmas present ever would be a signed photograph of David Dickinson.
Upsetting. She always manages to give me clothes which are way too big or way too small.
A pair of rubber gloves.
I don't know, a bottle of whiskey.
My worst presents ever was when I was about 8 years old, and I really loved Meccano and Lego and electric train set and all that I was dreaming of that Father Christmas would leave me. And I opened one book.
I didn't really drink whiskey that much, and then when I drank it, it didn't end well. And
two books.
The lavender toiletry gift set off my Super Gran.
My worst Christmas present, believe it or not, was an apple from my brother. I don't know if it was meant to be a joke or whatever, but he wrapped it and everything, and I opened it. I thought it was a board or something, and it was an apple.
Three books.
I love cakes. I like to bake and I love cakes. But this one was so filled with rum, Jamaican rum, strong, and it reeked of the smell of rum. And I remember trying a sliver of this cake and it was vile. We gave it to the dogs wouldn't eat it. It was just awful.
I had about 12 books and that was it.
I'd gone to grammar school and my nan was really excited. I went over to my nan's for Christmas and she was buzzing, and my brother and sister were all there and I had their presents first, and brother got Sabutia and I was really jealous, so I was thinking, okay, fine, she's saved mine till last, it's got to be really good. She gives me this present and it's like, you can tell it's clothing or something like that, so I'm like, okay, not Sabutia, and undo it, and it's this like fabric thing, so I'm quite confused, and she's gone and knitted me, hand knitted, a hot water bottle cover in my school colours because she was that proud.
I got a massive life-size cardboard cutout of Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow, and I had absolutely nowhere to put it.
So. And you know, we do that Oscar-winning performance of like, oh man, that's so brilliant. I've never been so gutted in all my life. And I got
my worst Christmas ever.
I think that every Christmas present ought to be received with grace and gratitude, but this one was different.
Some pretty awful presents right there. My worst present has probably got to be one Christmas I was bought a grow your own girlfriend kit. I hadn't had a girlfriend for a while, so I put it up on my wall just to remind me how mean some people can actually be. Now let's go to Nash's house in Stratford upon Avon to see what Christmas symbolised in the 1500s.
do with how we see Christmas today, really. Today it's all about giving lots of presents, having a tree, having a very large feast. But during Tudor England, it was very much governed by religion. Of course, Christmas was to celebrate the birth of Christ. Christmas trees didn't exist then, as it was brought in by the Victorians. So the houses would have been decked with boughs of holly and ivy, as we have here. More during the summer, but we do have interested visitors throughout Christmas, people who are interested in more of the original style of having Christmas rather than the modern.
It's amazing to see how time has changed and transformed Christmas. From a time of prayer and worship to a time of endless shopping, chocolate, alcohol, and seeing those members of your family happy to only have to see once a year. Now, the thing that probably represents Christmas the most is the tree, which only became a tradition in the 1800s when Prince Albert introduced it from Saxe-Coburg. Now we're off to see Warwick for more Victorian traditions at Christmas.
We've got a national raffle for Save the Children, which is about 2 trips to Hong Kong, a trip to Hong Kong for 2 people. So we're hoping to raise as much money as we can and obviously help save children at the same time.
Everybody's out enjoying themselves. There's lots of sort of interesting things going on, and we're part of it with our ferret racing, of course. But of course, you've got to use ferrets that are trained, because a ferret that is a wild ferret, for instance, his first reaction is to bite, because that's his defence mechanism. So these guys are actually quite mature. They're both girls. They're about 5.5 years old. They'll live probably till 8 or 9. So they're middle-aged, but it's still good fun, aren't you?
Yeah, I've been to 2 or 3 previous events here. We're only coming along with some friends who do other crafts as well, and we come and demonstrate crafts that are used from Victorian or earlier periods. Yeah. Because this isn't just a demonstration, we actually encourage them to come and have a go. So people walk past and they start, you can see people lurking, and we say, well, let's come and have a go. And they actually come and have a go at a skill that they wouldn't think they're not very good at. And in fact, it's quite easy, really. People people who did crafts like this originally, they would have done other things. So they would have made Christmas wreaths, which we have for sale. They would have made hay rakes, which we can sell if somebody wants them. So they would have done things in their spare time, which is what we do now to help solve this.
Well, tonight I've come as Little Red Riding Hood and I'm giving away gingerbread biscuits. I think it's incredibly romantic and everybody's very kind and Warwick looks the loveliest on Victorian night. It's my favourite night of living in Warwick.
That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching the show. I've been Elliot Causa. Join us next week for our special Build Up to Christmas episode. Goodbye and Merry Christmas. Shit, I didn't even realise.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. Now I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Oh, the mistletoe is hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you